If you're planning any trips in 2025, you need to hear this. Big changes are coming that could impact your ability to fly, cross borders, and even pack your bags. These changes will affect millions of travelers, so staying informed and planning ahead is essential. It can save you time, money, and unnecessary stress. In this video, I'll walk you through the biggest changes coming in 2025, so you can stay ahead and travel smarter. First up, if you're flying within the US, your current driver's license might not be enough to get through TSA. Starting May 7th, all domestic travelers over 18 will need a Real ID compliant license or an alternative like a passport, global entry card, or military ID. Not sure if your license is Real ID compliant? Check for a star in the top corner of your driver's license. If it's missing, you'll need to upgrade. To get one, visit your DMV with proof of identity, such as a passport or a birth certificate, proof of residence, and your social security number. Processing can take weeks, so don't wait until the last minute.
Wow, looking good. Thanks. Just powered up to a Real ID. Power up? So future me has X-ray vision. More like future you can fly to all 50 states, DC, and the US territories. Wait, you can fly? Sure. I'm Real ID compliant. Means now I can fly to Florida for the NASA launch today, then to Utah for the stargazing trip. Sounds good. Have fun. I'll just hang here.
Be your Real ID self by May 7th, 2025. Find out how at tsa.gov/RealID.
This new requirement aims to enhance security and streamline identification at airports, but many travelers are still unaware of it. If you show up at the airport with a non-compliant ID, you could be turned away, leading to missed flights and last-minute chaos. So double check your ID today and make sure you're travel ready before the deadline. If you're planning a trip to Europe, there are two major changes you need to know before you book your flight. Starting in mid-2025, US travelers heading to the Schengen zone will need an ETIAS travel authorization before departure. It's not a visa, it's more like the US ESTA program, a quick online approval that lets you visit Europe for short-term stays. Here's the deal. It costs $7.50 for US citizens. It's valid for 3 years and covers 27 European countries. Most applications get approved instantly, but some can take up to 14 days. So don't wait until the last minute. And here's the catch. If you show up at the airport without ETIAS approval, you won't be allowed to board your flight. So before you book that dream Euro trip, make sure you apply ahead of time and avoid any last-minute surprises. Alright, forget passport stamps. Europe is going digital. The new EES system will require biometric scans, including face and fingerprints, at border kiosks. It will track how many days you stay in the Schengen zone, so overstaying could result in fines or even entry bans. This system will speed up entry for most travelers, but may lead to longer lines at border crossings, especially during peak travel times. If you frequently visit multiple European countries, be aware that overstaying your visa-free allowance could have serious consequences under the new system. If you're heading to the UK in 2025, listen up. US travelers will now need an ETA, Electronic Travel Authorization, before arriving. It's not a visa, but it does require pre-approval, and it'll cost you about $10. So don't forget to apply before you go, or you might be denied entry. It's not just Europe making updates. Several other destinations are introducing new entry rules. Over in Asia, Thailand and Japan are stepping up their digital game. Both countries are rolling out automated entry approvals, and Japan's system is expected to be fully live by 2030. That means more digital checkpoints at airports, so expect smoother but more high-tech border crossings. And if Zanzibar is on your bucket list, here's a must-know rule. You now have to show proof of travel insurance before entering. So before you book that dream island getaway, make sure you're covered. These changes reflect a global shift toward digital travel documentation, making border crossings more efficient, but also requiring travelers to be more prepared in advance. Always check entry requirements before you book your flights. Airlines are getting really creative with extra fees this year. And if you're not careful, you could end up paying way more than expected. Here's what you need to watch out for. First up, overhead bin fees. Some airlines are now charging $35 or more if you're flying basic economy and want to use the overhead compartment. If you want to avoid this sneaky fee, pack light and stick to a personal item that fits under the seat. Next, Ryanair is ditching paper boarding passes. They're going fully mobile, which means if you forget to check in online, you'll have to pay a $55 fee at the airport. So make sure you've got that digital pass ready before you arrive. And for those flying European budget airlines, beware. Baggage size restrictions are getting tighter. Even if your carry-on fit last year, it might not anymore. Double check the size limits before packing, or you could be hit with an expensive last-minute fee at the gate. These fees are designed to push travelers toward premium options, but with a little planning, you can avoid them. Let me know in the comments what's the worst airline fee you've ever been charged. Another major change in the travel industry is coming in 2025. The U.S. Department of Transportation is making it much easier to get your money back when flights don't go as planned. Now, airlines must issue automatic refunds if your flight is canceled or delayed by more than 3 hours domestically or 6 hours international. If your checked bag is delayed over 12 hours, you'll get your baggage fee refunded. If your flight is canceled, but instead of short expiry credits, you'll get a voucher that lasts for 5 years. This is a huge win for travelers. No more jumping through hoops or spending hours fighting for compensation. Refunds will be automatic, saving you time and frustration. If you dread airport security, there's some good news. Select US airports are rolling out new 3D scanners, meaning you won't have to remove laptops or liquids at TSA in some locations. Additionally, facial recognition technology is expanding in TSA pre-check lanes, which should help speed up security for frequent travelers. While these technologies will make the security process faster, they also raise privacy concerns. If you're uncomfortable with facial recognition, you may have the option to opt out, but this could lead to longer wait times. Be aware of your rights and TSA policies before heading to the airport. Good news for US travelers. Passport renewals just got easier. You can now renew your passport completely online, but only if you meet these conditions. First, your passport is between 9 and 15 years old. You live in the US, and your passport is undamaged. A word of caution, once you apply, your old passport is immediately invalid. So don't start the process if you have upcoming travel. The online renewal process takes 8 to 10 weeks, and expedited renewals are not available. This change is a game changer for frequent travelers, eliminating the need for in-person visits and lengthy paperwork. However, since expedited services aren't yet available online, travelers in a rush should still opt for traditional renewal methods. If you have international trips planned, check your passport's expiration date now to avoid any disruptions. These changes will impact millions of travelers, so planning ahead is key. Make sure your ID is compliant, your documents are ready, and your bags follow the new rules to avoid surprises at the airport. As travel becomes more digital and security focused, being proactive will help you avoid unnecessary stress. Which travel rule surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on the latest travel changes. Safe travels, and see you in the next one.